Before energy drinks ruled the world, there was Jolt Cola. Double the caffeine, all of the sugar, and none of the subtlety. In the mid-'80s, Jolt didn't just quietly launch, it exploded onto shelves like a punch in the face. It sparked panic, rebellion, and some of the most chaotic Gen X stories told.
I think I had too much Jolt Cola.
And that's why today we're taking a look at Jolt, the 80s drink that scared parents senseless. But
Zero
before we
sugar.
get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, please leave a comment and let us know what other beverages of yesteryear you would like to hear about. Okay, time to mainline some totally tubular 80s facts.
I don't remember Jolt. I was not around during the Jolt era. I remember, Vault. You guys remember Vault? Vault was the kind of like Jolt Mountain Dew alternative. This shit, oh man, bro. I want more of this. This is such like an early 2000s vibe to it. I used to get this after church like every Wednesday. I'd get this and some hot fries from the vending machine after church. That was my caffeinated beverage. Probably was not good for me because that was late at night and I was like 10 years old, but I don't remember Jolt. I was not a Jolt enjoyer.
The year is 1985, and American parents are on edge. They're busy panicking about Dungeons & Dragons being a satanic recruitment tool, the Cold War, and their kids showing up to school in either neon colors with off-the-shoulder sweatshirts or looking like they walked off the set of Twisted Sister's Burn in Hell video. And into this nervous breakdown cannonballed Jolt Cola, a beverage that didn't just embrace controversy, it made controversy its brand identity. Jolt was created by C.J.
That's like
Rapp,
everything now.
and yes, that was his real name, and not just his DJ persona. Rapp was a former Canada Dry employee who noticed that every college and high school student he knew was basically DIYing their own cardiology emergency. They were double-fisting sodas, dumping Coke into the coffee, or chugging Pepsi like they were studying for a PhD in heart murmurs. Rapp carefully observed this behavior and thought, I better streamline this and sell it. And so, in what might be the most aggressively 80s idea of all time, Jolt Cola was born. That little can of wonder came out with about 70 milligrams of caffeine per 12-ounce can, which is more than twice what either Coke or Pepsi had.
That's not even
and
that
just
bad.
to really make people feel amped, some bottles were shaped like actual batteries, because apparently subtlety died in 1983. If you're wondering how it tasted, the answer is not great. It was
What does a Monster have? Monster has like 200 milligrams of caffeine. And people drink like 2 of those a shift at work. This at 70? That's literally like 2 Cokes.
Pepsi and battery acid had a child and raised it in a dive bar that only played Guns N' Roses, while patrons were in the bathroom doing lines off the back of the toilet. But flavor wasn't the point. Jolt wasn't for sipping in the sun while covering yourself in baby oil and spritzing your hair with Sun-In. It was for slamming down so you could finish your homework before the caffeine ripped your soul from your body. And let's not get started on the design of the logo, which looked like a 7th grader created it in Microsoft Paint for their school project.
I
a
love
yellow
it.
lightning bolt and giant block letters that basically screamed Jolt. But again, not the point.
The cult of Jolt.
Jolt was originally marketed to students and young professionals, basically anyone who needed stimulant support but remembered to just say no to hard drugs, which was a big deal in the 80s.
It hurts his family, and it hurts his friends. I just want to shake some sense into you kids.
True to that marketing strategy, Jolt's
This is your-
slogan
this is
became
your
all the
brain
sugar
on-
and twice the caffeine,
on
which came
drugs.
across more of a challenge than a slogan. So as you might
This is your
expect,
brain on
teens ran
Jolt.
toward it like moths to a neon-lit bug zapper. Parents hated it. Some assumed Jolt was a gateway drug that led straight to cocaine. So one day your
I don't understand. Aren't all these people in the 80s, all these parents, aren't they drinking like pots of coffee every day? Aren't they smoking cigarettes all day? How is that worse than 70 milligrams of caffeine and no sugar? No sugar? Oh, that sounds pretty good to me. Hey, sign me up. I prefer this over basically anything. A cup of coffee is 95 milligrams. Exactly. You're drinking like a whole pot of that as an adult in the 80s and smoking 2 packs a day. And you're like, oh, God forbid my kid drinks a cola with 70 milligrams of caffeine. Okay.
Kid is drinking a Jolt at 2 a.m. while alphabetizing the spice cabinet, and the next, they're freebasing pixie sticks behind the Safeway. And with that perception, a PTA meeting could turn into a caffeine witch trial whenever an authority spotted a can in a kid's backpack. That is exactly what Jolt was aiming for. After all, one way to get kids to want something is to get their parents to hate it. Sales skyrocketed and reached an estimated $50 million a year by the early 90s, and grabbing 1% of the entire soda market, which doesn't sound like a lot, but is actually enormous, especially for a drink that tasted like a cross between battery acid and a dare. With the hype growing, Jolt started expanding its empire. There was Jolt 25, released in 1987 as a low-cal version, as well as new flavors like Cherry Bomb, Citrus Climax, Orange Blast, White Lightning, Red Eye, and Electric Blue. Basically, if a color could stain your tongue for 3 days, Jolt turned it into a flavor. Despite being legal, schools treated Jolt as contraband. Some teachers confiscated cans from lockers, like prohibition agents busting moonshine stills. News outlets ran stories about youth caffeine addiction, and there is a better-than-average chance that this is what inspired Saved by the Bell to bring the world the cautionary story of caffeine-addicted Jesse Spano, who taught American kids the dark truth of being so excited and so scared. But concern grew for more reasons than just sugar vibes, and regulators started paying attention. In 1998, the Center for Science and Public Interest called out Jolt specifically and pushed the FDA to regulate the amount of caffeine in sodas. CSPI's report argued no soda should ever exceed 65 milligrams of caffeine per serving, and several states even explored adopting that limit formally, though none of them actually pulled the trigger. And then there was the big one, lithium citrate. Yeah, Jolt contained trace amounts of a compound sometimes used in mood stabilizers. Before Reddit loses its mind, the FDA later determined it was safe at the dose used. But the PR backlash did real damage. But to parents, that just added fuel to the fear. And Jolt delivered both caffeine and controversy in bulk.
Hey, Newman.
While high schools were busy banning it, an entirely different group was embracing Jolt with open, albeit trembling, arms. Enter computer programmers. In the late 80s and early 90s, Jolt became the unofficial drink of Silicon Valley's sleep
LOL, Bang has 300 milligram and is marketed to kids. Yeah, dude, I feel like, do we just not give a shit about our kids anymore? Maybe that's really the moral of the story, is that in the 80s, they really cared about their kids and what they were getting into. Dungeons and Dragons, Jolt, like, oh, Satanic Panic. Now it's like parents are like, oh, you're on Discord for 12 hours a day and you're drinking Bang. Hey, what can you do, right? What can you do?
Deprived elite. Coffee was for babies. These people needed something with a kick more like rocket fuel. Mini fridges overflowing with Jolt were tucked under desks. Coders would crush can after can while debugging at 3 a.m. LAN parties ran entirely on Jolt and bagel bites, a combination the people at OSHA absolutely should have investigated. Even the 1995 film Hackers includes Jolt. Cans appear.
I started watching that movie. It was not good. I got about 30 minutes into it and I was like, dude, this is boring.
Throughout the neon hacker lair, half crushed next to rollerblades and CRT.
Oh, but what's funny about that movie though is in the beginning he's a hacker, right? He's hacking the whole planet, right? In the beginning, he's hacking into a local TV station. There's a station that he hacks into that is called America First, and it shows just like a blip of it where this guy's in a suit, fat guy in a suit with glasses, older gentleman, and he's talking about like Southern Dixie and like segregation and shit like that. I thought that was funny. I thought, hey, that's just like Nick Fuentes. Look at that.
Monitors the size of washing machines, both product placement and set design that reflected reality. It didn't stop there. Jolt popped up all over pop culture, appearing in Jurassic Park, MST3K, 30 Rock, and more recently, in Stranger Things. Basically, any show needing a visual shorthand for chaotic net energy dropped a can of Jolt in the scene. But all good things, and some highly questionable ones, must come to an end. By the late 90s, Jolt was losing ground, and not because people got any more reasonable when it came to caffeine intake. It was because in 1997, a little drink called Red Bull arrived in the US and said, "We're not a soda, we're a lifestyle." It was sleek, extreme, and allowed you to do things like jump out of planes or skateboard over a school bus. Jolt looked like a gas station impulse buy, while Red Bull looked like a sport. Then came Monster, Rockstar, and the entire modern energy drink.
That's more my speed, Monster. I remember when I was like 12, that was like the drug, right? Oh, You'd want to have gum at school and try and hide it because for some reason they really cared about kids chewing gum. I don't really know why. But you try and hide that your stride gum, and then afterwards we'd all go to the bowling alley and get Monster Energy. And we would try and hide it from the adults because it was 180 milligrams of caffeine. Probably not very good for us, but we used to mix them together and chug them, take shots of them. To be a kid again. To be a kid again. Monster Energy.
Drink arms race. Strangely, people seem to be way more tolerant of highly caffeinated drinks when the marketing isn't specifically designed to make them think you're poisoning their children. Or maybe that's not so strange. Ironically,
I guess you did have that. Speaking of parents caring about their children, you did have that one crazy lady who was like talking about the Hebrew lettering on the Monster can. And if you flip it upside down, it's like 666 or whatever.
The letter Vav is also the number 6. Short top, long tail. Short top, long tail. You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can.
On the
My
can.
interest is the word monster. What do you see in the O? There's a cross.
Okay.
What has Christ got to do with an energy drink, let alone the name Monster? So I thought, well, maybe this is
Monster.
a Christian company then. BFC at the bottom of the can. Do you know what that stands for? That's the F word. They can. In fact, they write it on the side of the can, so I know that's the F word.
Okay.
Now, do you know what a MILF is?
Yes.
That's on the box. MILFs dig it, and you will too. This is not a Christian company at all.
What does she do? She does like the bottoms up and the devil laughs, right? Doesn't she do something like that? But I guess we did have our own kind of version. The satanic panic for Monster. We didn't know what we had until it's gone. Now, where are all the Karens out there? The Karens have been stomped out. We need Karens to come back. We need somebody to raise our children. We need somebody to call out the satanic energy drinks, the capitalist elite poisoning us. We need Karens to come out and call this shit out.
Energy drinks, which a lot more people consume these days, have way, way, way more caffeine than Jolt ever did. Some even clock in at as much as 300 milligrams per can. It does spur the question, was Jolt the harbinger of a real problem, or was it just too early in a beverage trend? Whatever the case, it seems that Jolt ran so that Red Bull could give you wings to fly. Meanwhile, the company tried everything to stay relevant. In 2003, they licensed the brand name to Gum Runners to make caffeinated gum. And in 2006, they rebranded as Jolt Energy with new packaging. All, however, to little avail. In 2009, Jolt filed for bankruptcy, and in 2011, production stopped on this groundbreaking drink. After the production stoppage in 2011, it seemed that Jolt had officially flatlined. Or did it? Because just like the Fast and the Furious film series, Jolt refuses to die. In 2017, it made a small comeback at $1.
It's weird. Monster Energy drinks are the only things in the grocery store without the U mark for kosher. Well, that's the thing, King of Sheba, is that it's for the Goyim. It's not for the chosen people. It's for the Goyim because it's filled with poison. Don't you see? Every time you drink it, you're poisoning yourself. So the Jews will go into the store and they'll look at it and they'll go, oh, it's not kosher. They'll put it back. But we, our stupid cattle, we chug that shit by the gallon. It's because of the Hebrew lettering. That's probably what it is, literally. She's probably right. That lady's probably right. And we all made fun of her for it.
Dollar General, which is the perfect place for a retro chaos soda to respawn. But just like neon jumpsuits, it had no staying power and was gone again by 2019. But have no fear, your Jolt is near. In 2025, it was announced that Jolt was coming back. Well, sort
there you
of.
go.
The marginally drinkable soda, you remember, is staying in its grave. This new Jolt is a modern energy drink. A sports nutrition company called Redcon One is relaunching the brand to compete with Monster and Red Bull. The new Jolt will offer 200 milligrams of caffeine, 0 sugar, and a sleek energy drink design. And this time it won't be marketed to kids, but rather to the adults who were forbidden to drink it when they were kids back in the 80s. A true full circle moment.
Marketed to the
once
inner
opposed
child.
by parents
Got it.
will now be sold to parents. Thanks to panic, chaos, and ER visits, Jolt Cola left a legacy bigger than anyone expected. It paved the way for the energy drink explosion and turned caffeine caffeine into a lifestyle. It didn't taste great, and it didn't age well, but for one brief, brilliant moment, it was the drink. The drink that got you banned from school, sent to the ER, or declared a hero for bringing it to the party. So pour one out. Carefully, please. Those cans were pressurized like paint shakers. And remember, sometimes the wildest ideas burn the brightest, even if they crash just as fast. So what do you think? And were you ever a fan of...
I drink coffee, espresso, tea, but I never drank energy drinks. Never got on board with that. Yeah, I used to drink energy drinks every day. When I worked at Amazon years ago, I used to drink a orange Monster. That was my shit. I would drink one. I used to get them delivered to my house in bulk, and I would drink one a day. But ever since I've got the job I have now, I've just been drinking coffee. Coffee is just so cheap. It's so quick. It's just like water. I mean, it's literally just water. Caffeinated water. Feels much more simple, right? Feels much more simple, much healthier, much more natural. Doesn't feel like it's chemically. Orange, you psycho. Dude, the orange one's good. I like the orange one. I like orange soda, so if you're not an orange soda guy, you probably wouldn't like it. What is it? Like something Ultra Sunrise? Yeah, Ultra Sunrise. Yeah, that was the shit. I love this one. I used to chug these things, man. I'd drink it in like 20 minutes. And then I would be zooming. At each stop. What flavor did you drink? What flavor did you drink, King of Sheba? Let me guess, the white one? The white Monster? You fucking normie? All the real ones drank the orange Monster. Every once in a while, I would get the blue. I like the blue one too, like the zero sugar original blue one. That one's pretty good too. That one would take me back. That would take me back to middle school. White, yeah, of course. Of course, you normie. I was early to the fandom. I actually hate the white Monster. Don't kill me. I do not like that. It's too sweet. The orange one was, it was, you know, citrusy. It was like orange soda. I liked it. The white one was just, it was just like cloyingly sweet. It was just too much.